Hi, I'm Wayne Allen Root for Personal Liberty. Here's a story every American patriot needs to hear. What's happening to America is not a coincidence, it's not a mistake, it's not fate, and Obama isn't dumb or incompetent. He's brilliant, and this is all a purposeful plan. I'm a witness. Remember when Geraldo opened Al Capone's vault live on national TV? Well, I'm about to solve the mystery of Obama. I'm about to break the Obama code. I'm about to tell you everything about the way Obama and the people around him really think. I'm about to rip open the true Obama plan to destroy our country because I was there when the plan was hatched. How do I know all this? Because I was Barack Obama's college classmate at Columbia University, class of '83. I was easy to recognize, the lone outspoken conservative in a class of 700 students. I knew I was in trouble when my first political science class at Columbia was Communism 101, taught by Professor Trotsky in the Fidel Castro building at the corner of Marx and Lenin. I'm only half kidding. My experiences at Columbia were not far off from that scenario. Everyone needs to hear my story because what Obama and I learned at Columbia explains exactly what Obama is doing to America today. Exactly. The economy in deep decline, the disappearance of jobs, the annihilation of the middle class, the demonization of business owners, the destruction of small business with onerous regulations and taxes, the overwhelming debt and spending of out-of-control government, the millions of Americans losing their health insurance, and the unimaginable increase in dependency through welfare, food stamps, unemployment, disability, and now, of course, free health care. It's all easily explained when you hear what Obama and I learned at Columbia. I predicted all of this for 5 long years. Every prediction about what Obama would do and how jobs would be killed and what would happen to the economy has unfortunately come true. I wish I wasn't right. It's a purposeful, brilliant plan hatched at Columbia to destroy capitalism, American exceptionalism, Judeo-Christian values, and the American dream. Now, I never met Obama at Columbia. Isn't that strange? We were both political science majors, both pre-law, graduated on the same day. There were no more than 100 to 150 of us in the political science department, and I thought I knew all of them, every single political science major. As the token big-mouth conservative patriot, I know they all knew me, but not Obama. I never met him, never saw him, never even heard of him. Not one of my friends at Columbia ever met him either. At our 30th class reunion last May, I could not find a single classmate who had ever met him. Strange story, but I digress. What matters is what Obama learned and experienced at Columbia. He says he graduated class of '83. Let's take his word at it. My classmates hated America. They spoke with glee about taking the system down. They blamed America for racism, inequality, and lack of social justice. Recognize those words? My classmates proudly called themselves socialists, communists, and Marxists, even though almost all of them came from wealthy families, or perhaps because of the fact that they came from wealthy families, they hated the rich and they despised business owners. They talked about how the white power structure had to be dismantled, business owners bankrupted, and capitalism destroyed. Everything in their minds was based around this idea of social justice. Sound like the policies of anyone you recognize in the White House today? Does "we have to spread the wealth around" ring a bell? How about "if you own a business, you didn't build it"? All uttered by our Marxist-in-chief, Barack Obama, from Columbia University. How about Obama's hatred of Republicans and refusal to negotiate with Congress? It's clear he thinks he's morally superior to conservatives. That attitude was born at Columbia, too. In 1981, when a student burst through the doors to our political science class and screamed, "The president's been shot, they've assassinated Reagan," my classmates, thinking Reagan was dead, yelled, hugged, high-fived, jumped up and down, cheering the death of a Republican, a standing ovation. Today, most of my classmates are either in government with Obama or they control the mainstream media. They talk about moderation and compromise, but always remember that 30 years ago, they cheered for the death of a man because his crime was he was a Republican. But there's more. We were all taught a simple but brilliant plan. My classmates discussed it all day, every day. It was their American dream. It was called Cloward Piven, after a Columbia professor, husband-wife team of Cloward and Piven. And it was about bringing down our capitalist system by overwhelming the system with massive spending, entitlements, taxes, and debt. That would cause the economy to collapse, wipe out the middle class, and bring Americans to their knees, begging government to save them. It's the exact plan Obama's been implementing. The centerpiece is Obamacare. Obamacare isn't about health care. It's about bankrupting the middle class and addicting it to government dependency. It's about redistributing wealth from the middle class and small business to Obama's voters, the poor and unions. Its goal is to wipe out the last vestiges of middle-class America, creating a two-class society, the super rich and the poor, both beholden to Obama. Obama learned well. It's working to perfection. So that explains the plan, happening before your eyes. But how do you implement it? We were taught that at Columbia, too. A key component of the plan involved fooling the voters by calling yourself a moderate and a uniter, even though you're a radical Marxist. We were taught to never admit what you really believe in. It involved demonizing your opponents, calling them evil and greedy and extreme and radical, and how about this one, terrorist. Look in the mirror and call your opponents the very things that describe you. Obama learned well. The plan taught us to hide your true intentions. In other words, lie and misrepresent and commit fraud. So Obamacare is about saving the uninsured as opposed to income redistribution. Government regulations to protect us from global warming as opposed to wiping out small business. Amnesty for illegal immigrants is about fairness as opposed to creating 12 million new Democratic voters. High taxes are to create equality as opposed to starving Obama's political opposition, the people who write the checks to conservative causes. Obscene spending, always about helping widows and orphans, as opposed to bribing Obama's voters. Higher teacher salaries to reward terrible performance year after year, that's for the kids, as opposed to enriching teachers' unions so they can funnel hundreds of millions of dollars to Democratic politicians like Obama. Bailing out GM, save jobs, as opposed to saving bloated union pensions. It's always about lying to cover up the Marxist agenda of destroying the middle class and putting big government in control of our every move. Why the lies? Well, we were taught that at Columbia, too. It's for the greater good. And we know what's best for those middle class people. And the ends justify the means. Obama learned well. But the key to all of it is to boil the frog slowly. We learned at Columbia to set the fire low so the frog wouldn't complain. And by the time he realized what was happening, he'd be cooked. That's why every Obama speech starts and ends with, "I'm here to save the middle class. My policy is for the middle class." Well, his actions are annihilating the middle class. He's boiling the frog slowly. And by the time the middle class realizes he's the killer and they're the prey, they'll be dead. The root, excuse the pun, of every Obama policy, everything Obama does, and everything he says, and everything happening to the U.S. economy all started at Columbia. The entire Obama agenda to overwhelm the system, wipe out the middle class, bankrupt small business, and destroy capitalism was hatched at Columbia. I was there. I heard all of it every day ad nauseum. Obama may not have attended class, but he learned well. He should have received Columbia's Karl Marx Award for the student most likely to destroy America. We never needed to fear terrorists or Russia or China. We're being destroyed from within, and the orders emanate directly from our White House. I'm Wayne Allyn for Personal Liberty. See you next week, same time, same place. God bless America.